this is how you play a 1, 4, 2, 5, 7, 1 in A major, hands together. I'm going to keep my hands here because you may have noticed I said I'm going to play this in A major, and then I proceeded to have a C sharp on the bottom of my chord instead of an A. My A is up here instead. So this is still an A major chord, it's just been reorganized. This is called first inversion because what's usually in the middle of the chord, the third of the chord, is on bottom. That's what makes a first inversion chord. Before we start that version, I want to go from something you already know, the 1, 4, 5, 7, 1. So go ahead and get your hands placed in A major with A on bottom, so root position, because that's what makes root position when the name of the chord is on the bottom. And let's play it together while saying our chord names. 1, 2, ready, play and say. 1, 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 5, 1. Now let me show you how to throw the 2 chord in there, which is the new chord in your progression this year. After the 4, we're going to hold, because that's where the 2 goes, and I'll show you how to get there. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 1. Now hold the 4, 6, 4. Take the bottom note, move it up to the very next note that appears in the A major scale, which is B. So a whole step up. And then adjust your left hand so that it's more comfortable for this root position chord, and put 3 in the middle instead of 2. And play that chord for me. This is a B minor chord, B, D, F sharp. And then go to the 5, 7 that you already know, and then back to 1. Let's put that all together. 1, 2, ready, and play. 1, 4, 6, 4, bottom note moves up for the 2 to 5, 6, 5, back to 1. Now let me show you the version that's on your exam, because you've already played all the chords. We're just going to play them in a different order. The notes, that is, not the chords. The chords are going to go in the same order. Alright, to get our 1 chord in first inversion, place your hands in the root position that you're used to, so A, C sharp, E, and you're simply going to shift the bottom fingers up to C sharp, replace to E, and then that leaves these fingers right here available to put the A on top. So instead of the A being down here on bottom, it's now on top of the chord, and the C sharp's on the bottom. You'll notice that I'm using my right hand 2 on E. Whenever you're in a first inversion chord, because of the spacing of the top 2 notes, you need to use your right hand 2 in the middle. Left hand can still be 5, 3, 1. Let's play this first inversion chord together, C sharp, E, A. And this is the A major chord. Now to get to the 4 chord, our top note stays the same. Our bottom 2 notes move up to the next notes in the scale. So bottom note moves up a half step, middle note moves up a whole step. And you'll notice that even though I had my left hand 2 hovering over this, I use my left hand 3. So both my hands are in 5, 3, 1 or 1, 3, 5. Play that chord for me. And you have D, F sharp, A, which is the D major chord. Let's go back to the 1 chord in first inversion. That's called the 1, 6. Now go back to the 4. Alright, now to get to the 2, our bottom 2 notes are going to stay the same, so don't change them. The top note moves up to the next note in the scale, so up a whole step. And this will give us the next chord we need. Now you'll notice, because of the spacing of the top 2 notes, we're in first inversion again. So right hand needs to use 2 in the middle. So go ahead and replace that 2. Or sorry, go ahead and replace that 3 with your 2. All right, now play me the 2 chord. And this is B minor in first inversion. So you have B up top, then D, F sharp on bottom. Now go back to your 4 chord, D major, and go back to your 2 chord, B minor, first inversion, D on bottom. All right, now let's go to our 5-7 chord. To get to our 5-7 chord, the outside notes, the top and bottom, they're already in the chord, so don't change them. The only note that's going to change is the middle note, and it's going to go down to the next note in the scale. So, down a whole step to E. Go ahead and play that chord for me. And you'll have D, E, and B. And because we've got a chord with a step in it, that's a 7th chord. That's an E7 chord. All right, go back to your 2 chord. Now go back to your 5-7. All right, and now we return back to 1, which you might have stored in your short-term memory, but if you didn't, the middle note is already in the chord. The outside notes, so top and bottom, they are not. So we need to move those down to the next notes in the scale. So bottom note will move down a half step. Top note will move down a whole step. And then right hand already has a 2 in the middle for this first inversion chord, which is great. Left hand, though, will need to shift to its 3 finger in the middle. And play that chord for me. And go back to the 5-7, remembering to switch to the 4 finger in the left hand. And then go back to the 1-6 chord, remembering to switch to 3 in the left hand. Let's put that all together. Start out on the first inversion, 1-6 chord. 1, 2, ready, play, say your moves. Bottom 2 go up. Top note moves up. Middle note moves down. Outside moves down. Now I want to focus on the finger numbers because there are a few switches. So let's say our hand and finger, that switches. 1, 2, ready, go. Right hand starts on 2, bottom 2 move up, top 2 move up, right hand goes to 2, middle down, left hand switch to 3. All right, now let's put this with the metronome. We were going. Okay. 2, ready, play. Bottom 2 move up. Top 1 moves up. Middle note moves down. Outside move down. Left hand switch to 3. And you can test with metronome and listen along just to see how exam ready you are.